Hey everyone, welcome to episode 256. It
Oh,
is the week, 1 week, and Christmas will be here. 1 week,
yeah.
7 days.
This is a weird Christmas for me, I'm not gonna lie.
It's weird. I think it's weird for everybody. It's particularly weird for Rob Reiner and his wife.
What the actual fuck?
And those poor people on Bondi Beach just celebrating Hanukkah, and those poor students at Brown University. Gil Gerard has decided to step off the planet. I mean,
I
people always seem to
know.
check out this time of year, but fuck.
Listen, there are certain things, and I know I not making a joke about it, but there are certain things that make because my dude and I have been through it with family issues over the years, and on both sides of our families.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just look at each other when horrible things happen and go, you know what? At least our kids don't want to murder us that I'm aware of. Like,
Right?
that's the most horrible thing. That is the most. And to be honest with you, you know what's crazy is my dude actually has a buddy that he used to work with. He's not with us anymore. He passed away from a heart attack a few years ago, but his wife was murdered by her son like
Oh my God.
8 years ago.
Oh my
And I
God.
said, what? And he was like, yeah, like she was afraid that he was going to do something to her. He had been in and out of prison. He had drug issues. And yeah, just what she knew.
So,
She knew someday it was going to happen. And then when it did, we were like, how do you process that? How does one process that?
okay, not only did allegedly their son kill them,
Oh, yeah.
stabbed them.
Yeah.
Do you know how much rage you have to have, harkening back to OJ? Do you know how much rage
To
you
stab,
have to
sorry,
stab?
it's not an earthquake. If you're watching a clip, if you're watching us live, the camera shakes violently because I am still living in my RV after losing my house in the LA fires. And when every time I do the laundry, when it hits the spin cycle, the entire
No,
everything in the RV shakes like it's an earthquake. Yeah.
no.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
Well,
I was looking at the camera for a second
yeah,
going,
it was shaking.
oh, yeah, you're going to be like, are you okay? Why are you not saying anything about the
Yeah,
7.2 earthquake that's happening right now in
I was wondering
LA?
there for a second. I'm like, is she having an epileptic seizure?
Yeah, it's possible. Or
Um,
are you? We don't know. But yeah,
mm, no, but I'm saying,
it's
to
violent
kind
because
of,
it was both of them. So it's not like you have this rage of passion and then you come to your senses and snap out of it and go, oh my God, what have I done? It was like Lyle and Eric Menendez, like you did one and then you go after the other. And from what I understand, they weren't even in the same room.
oh,
They were not.
really?
I read something that said that they were
Were
not
they, I
found
thought
in the
maybe
same room. They were
were they
not
maybe
found in the same
sleeping?
room. I don't know, but they weren't found in the same room, and they're not releasing time of death. I know they were found at like 3:30 or 3 o'clock or whatever by their
Yeah.
daughter, but um, we don't know exactly when the time of
Yeah,
death was.
because
But they
I'm
were
thinking
not
you're
found in
getting,
the same room, so that means that like there was
well, but
no
people,
coming to Jesus and going, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" Like it was,
well, that also makes sense too. I know we're speculating, but that also makes sense too in the fact that, if they were sleeping in bed, you start stabbing someone, the other person's going to wake up, right? But a lot of people
yeah.
don't sleep in the same room
Oh, true. You know what? That's true. It could have been in their sleep and they could have been in separate rooms, but still, you got to do one and then go into another room. And
because he lived in the guest house. I understand, if I understand correctly. Like this is a Cato Kalin kind of thing.
yeah, he was living in the guest house on their property from what I read.
So certainly tragic, horrifying. It made me think of Phil Hartman when Phil Hartman, the comedian, was killed by his wife. Good Jesus, your whole house is shaking. It does look like you're having an
Yeah,
earthquake.
that was another one. I think they did a, I know I'm going to hold my camera while it happens. They did a behind the scenes or a documentary or whatever on that one with like the whole trials and tribulations of mental,
Yeah, mental
um,
health.
her mental health, which was really sad, really sad. Where are
Yeah.
those kids now? You know?
Yeah, right. So we don't talk politics, and I will
Mm.
continue to honor not talking politics. However,
It's hard.
nope, this is not political.
Mm-mm.
I'll say it as Donald J. Trump said the most hideous things
Yeah.
about their death,
Yeah.
speculative, all made it about him because he's such a fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
And I have kept quiet on the whole thing. But you might have seen on my
I
personal
did.
page I put a post,
I did.
and there were a lot of people that were outraged and wringing their hands about Charlie Kirk and how dare anyone say anything negative about his passing and his murder, and he was a good Christian, and the flags were flown at half mast in our country, which I cannot understand for life me why he was not an elected official.
No. No.
Subsequently, in the middle of the summer when a congresswoman was killed in her home, the flags weren't
Nobody
flown at
cared.
half-mast.
Yeah.
No. But to have a man who is the president of the United States speak in such a hateful, despicable way, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut
Yeah.
anymore. And I'm like, where are all you people that were publicly outcrying and wringing your hands? And
Oh,
where are your comments then?
it's so much hypocrisy on both sides. It's just too much. It's too much.
And
It's become
if
so
I,
much. The levels that both sides are sinking to get to each other is a lot.
but again, using religion as a pontification to, say he's a good Christian. No, he's fucking not. And if that's your definition of what a good Christian is, I question what your basis of your faith is. Like,
Go
so
off,
the whole thing,
girl.
again, I don't usually get waylaid by the musings of a madman, and I don't particularly comment on this, but there was too much happening at once, and it was just so heinous that
Listen, something that I've always said and words to live by is you can't reason with crazy. You can't apply logic to crazy.
No. So, best wishes, good thoughts. Tears I had for all of these 3 situations. The young people that were running around Brown University and hiding, sheltering in place for hours. And I know, Keek, you have a son in college, and I can't even imagine. The thing that made me it hit me even harder is, aside from the international students, the students from the United States have been trained and drilled in this since they were children. This age of
Oh, yeah.
people now.
Well, I read somewhere, and I didn't read the whole article, that one of the women affected, I don't know if she was killed or just was there. I believe she was just there. I do not believe it was someone who was killed at Brown University. This is her second school shooting that she has experienced. Second.
Yeah, there were 2 students killed, a gentleman and a woman, and I didn't read too much about them to know if that's what you're speaking to. But the fact that
I don't believe the
one-
story was about her being killed. I'll have to look it up. But I just believe that, just having experienced 2, not
I
one,
can't imagine
but
experiencing
2.
1. Yeah, who was it that told me the other day that their son? Oh, it was my cousin that were on my fucked up cousin baby and his wife.
Oh.
Their son was at school and in high school and saw the gun get pulled out and walked away quickly before he got targeted.
Oh, yeah, survived her second. So, yeah, it was not one of the 2 victims. She survived.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. There's another tremor.
It does. It looks like the earthquake episode.
And I wish I need to find. I'll have to ask my dude. There was some story that he saw the other day, and he was like, "You need to talk about that on the podcast," because it was something really crazy. And of course, I didn't write it down, and I can't remember what it was.
Of course. You need to write it down. Okay, so moving on to happier things. You know that's just a bullshit segue because it's not happier things.
No.
I want to bring this up. I want to call it Girk and Keek's Fear Factor.
Oh, okay.
So, but not the usual fear factor. I'm talking about not what would be. So this is going to be like picky choosy, which is worse, right? So, but not in the general way of you telling me that you having, ants crawl on your face would be totally fear factor for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about something a little obscure that for you personally would be your living hell fear factor.
Okay. Am I supposed
Okay,
to give you
go.
mine?
Yeah.
But it can't be like there are parameters that it can't be in anything like from the show because for reals, like I am not good with large furry spiders. And
Yeah.
so if there was, like, I remember when I was in college, when I was at UC San Diego, there was a big ravine next to the on campus apartments that we lived in, big ravine.
Yeah.
So we had lots
Okay.
of critters that would like
Okay.
share our space that lived in the ravine
So
normally.
nice.
And one of them was because our unit was literally facing the ravine. And so one of the critters, one of the many critters that like to make a home in our air ducts were these gigantic furry gray wolf spiders.
No, no, no. Okay, that's a little bit different. Gray wolf spider, go. Keep going.
And
That's
so they,
something that can harm you is different than just like, I don't like ants crawling on me.
well, and I don't think they harm you. Like, I don't know that they're necessarily dangerous per se, but I remember waking up one morning, vivid recollection, because they usually would like hang around the ceiling because they would live in the vents, families of them.
Ugh, I'm
And I
getting chills. And I
remember
don't mind
I
spiders, but
had my bed, I had my little twin extra long college bed, and next to my bed was the desk or the dresser or something. So it was right up against the bed. So there was like my bed and then, the dresser, which was pushed up against the bed, which was like a foot and a half above the bed. So there was like you basically wake your face up to the wood of the desk, the faux
okay.
wood. And I do remember one morning rolling over and waking up, and on that wood, hanging out right there, was one of those big furry wolf spiders.
No,
And
thank
yeah, so for me, that one stuck with me. That would be one. Nothing to
you.
do
Okay.
with any sort of a large furry spider anywhere near my person.
Okay,
And
because I would also say that like black widows, I'm not afraid of spiders per se, except if they're gonna bite me and could
no,
possibly
yeah,
kill
regular
me.
spiders, like I put them in cups, take them outside. I'm talking about the big, chunky ones. Like this thing was probably 2 or 3 inches long. Its body itself was like 2 inches long, or an inch and a half.
Okay.
Big furry body.
Okay.
I do have a second one.
Yo, please.
I also have childhood trauma about teeth, like loose teeth,
Yes.
losing your teeth. For me, the tooth
Okay.
fairy was not a fun experience because my dad was very old school. So I had what turned out later to be like adult roots on some of my baby teeth. So they ended up having to
Oh,
be pulled by the dentist. But in the
okay.
meantime, when they would not come out, my dad would do string on a doorknob. He would do, like, he did all sorts of crazy things that you get from cartoons, from like 1950s cartoons to try to get my teeth out. So
Like
I,
Roadrunner, did he have like TNT and
yeah.
push down
So
the plunger?
I missed out on the beauty and the joy of your child coming up to you and going, "Look, mom," or "Look, the Auntie Keek," and showing you their wiggly tooth.
Okay.
It makes my toes curl, and I can't look at it. So I would
So then
say
this is where the fear factor comes in.
being forced to look at a bunch of children in my face wiggling their teeth.
That's what I was going for. Like
Yeah,
not
no.
just the like insect spiders or what, or like jumping from a high building. What is it that would really unnerve you in like a normal
Yeah.
setting?
Yeah.
So let's say
Being in
that
like a
if you were
kindergarten
in,
class filled with kids coming up to me to show me their, like in a line, just one after the next, wiggling their teeth in my face.
okay,
hmm
okay, that is exactly what I was looking for.
hmm
All right, so for me, I'm going to preface this by saying that superfan Dan had a big
Yep.
birthday and he was doing a karaoke party at a small bar in
Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
And I had known about this party for months and months and months and months and months. I was so looking forward to it.
Okay.
And um, there were like 5 of us that were going together. They were meeting at my house, and I was getting ready, and it's like 3:30, and they were coming at like 5, and all of a sudden my stomach just started gurgling, and I'm like, no, no, and I got sick to my stomach. And I don't know about any of the rest of you, but in general, when you're sick to your stomach and you may have to repeatedly use the restroom, going out anywhere is not a fun experience, right? Not at all. So two of the people canceled off. Then Fish was like, fuck this. And he canceled off. And my
Wait,
girlfriend's
why was
like, I'm
everyone
going to,
canceling?
because they weren't going to go by themselves.
Oh, like because you said when you said that you were out, they all canceled. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one girlfriend who lives far away was kind of already en route. And I said, well, I mean, I'm not going to bed. It's not like I have the flu. So come over. But unfortunately, I had to cancel going to the party because if I recall from when I was at this place before, there is only one bathroom. It's got the urinal and maybe there's two, but they're not stalls. They're just go in the
So you
one
would have
bathroom.
your fear factor involves any situation where you might shit your pants.
No, no. Well, who wants to shit their pants? My fear factor, I mean,
Well, because
I
it's
think
a
that's
real
anyone's.
possibility if there's only one bathroom and
Well,
severe
that's true.
stomach issues happening.
That would be an aspect of it. But my fear factor would be having an upset stomach that you know you're going to need to use a restroom for at some point, not knowing when, and nobody will let you either use the bathroom because there's so many people, or like if you were doing the fear factor game, wait a second, let me finish. My fear factor would be having to use the bathroom
Wait,
and
repeat that
coming
because
out.
yeah, you need to repeat it because we lost internet connection for a second.
Okay. My fear factor would be being in that situation and using the restroom and having people pound on the door to
Oh
get
yeah.
in, or coming out and you've like killed it in there, like a jackal's carcass is rotting in there.
So we have one of those experiences in our family, and we still tease my cousin about it. But to be honest with you, she's usually the one that brings it up and sends memes and stuff. Because there was one Thanksgiving, it was before Thanksgiving, maybe October or whatever. And I don't know if you guys have Salt and Straw there, but it is
No,
so
not
good.
that
It
I'm
is
aware of.
amazing, like artisanal ice cream. And they changed their food.
Okay.
They have their regulars that they have all the time. Their sea salted caramel, I think, was the place that actually turned me on to all things sea salted caramel. Their
Oh,
sea
okay.
salted caramel ice cream is ridiculous. So they have like their staples, but then every season they have different ones, and they have weird ones. Weird. So like
Okay.
at Thanksgiving, they'll have like turkey and cranberry ice cream, or like
Oh,
stuffing. And it didn't. I don't think it had turkey in it. I think it had like cranberries and whatever. But
I've had,
they do a savory. Like sometimes they do a mix of like savory sweet things. So we were there, and we had a flight of the Thanksgiving
yeah.
ones. And my cousin, we were all sitting there, my aunt, my uncle, and me, and I don't know if my dude was there, but it's me and some of my family members, and I think the dude was there, and my parents, and so there was probably like 6 or 7 of us. And it's not a big place. Usually, it's the type of place, the ice cream shop, where people get their ice cream and they go somewhere else, or they sit on a
Oh, okay.
bench outside. It's not like a big parlor where there's tables and whatever. But we had decided to sit there. There was like a little bar with
Okay.
stools, and behind it was the one bathroom because it was a small place. And all of a sudden my cousin got a bout of something, not from the ice cream, but just like something hit her,
Yeah.
and she was like, I need to go to the bathroom. So instead of saying, not like you have chronic things, so when you say that to your friends understand and go, we get it, as opposed to like if someone else would say, they go, what are you talking about, you're not going to cancel. But like she doesn't have chronic issues, so it just was like a oneer. So she goes into the bathroom. She doesn't say anything to anyone, like, oh my God, you guys, this is about to be really bad. And I swear to God, she's gone for like 20 minutes. And the bathroom is like 3 feet behind us. And so we're kind of looking at each other going, well, we know she didn't come out. We didn't miss her. Like she didn't come
Right.
out. But we're not going to like
Right.
pound on the door and be like, what's you? And my aunt, who's prone to anxiety, my aunt is like a hand wringer, starts to panic a little bit. Like, do you think everything's, we're like,
Make sure
yeah,
she didn't have a heart attack.
I think everything's okay. I think she's got some stuff going on. So she finally comes, and of course, a couple of people like, knock politely and like go away. And so she finally comes out, and she's like, and we're looking at her going, did you leave a kidney in there? What's going on? And she was like, yeah, something not right is happening. I think we might need to leave soon. And I was like, okay. But then that happened probably 3 more times. And I'm
It's
sure
the
it
worst.
was probably a combined hour where she was in there off and on
It's the
while the
worst.
rest of us were eating our ice cream. And I
The
felt
worst.
so bad. So now we joke about it. I was actually with her on Thanksgiving this year, and she'll send me memes like, "Hey, look, Salt and Straw put out their Thanksgiving flavors."
I'm headed over. The thing for me is, I so wanted to go to this party, so I'm like, okay, stomach, just
Yeah, that's the
resolve, just
shitty part
resolve.
is like, no pun intended, or pun
Literally.
intended, pun intended. That's the shitty part is when you have to miss things that you're really looking forward to doing. I have
Yeah, and it happens
severe
to
FOMO.
everybody.
I have severe FOMO, so I have a really hard time missing out on things. I don't know if I would have been able to be like, well, I guess I can't go. I probably would have been like, I
I
guess I'm going to
so
monopolize the bathroom.
my girlfriend and I, like, we were sitting here, and if I thought that there was enough time that had passed that I wasn't continuing to use the restroom, I would go. I'd be like, let's go. But the fear factor thing came in, and I went, oh my God, this would be so bad if I actually rallied to get there. And then I'm there, and it's just the gurgling starts again. And I see it would be like the long hallway, and I see the bathroom in the distance. And then there's like all these people, and they're in the way,
And
and
there's the
I
one
can't
person
get
in
to the
front of you walking in
bathroom.
slow motion that's going to get there before you.
And their hand is on the
Yeah.
handle,
Wait,
and they're opening the door.
so explain
Or being,
for the rest of us, what
yeah.
exactly what happens? Like, yeah, I've had diarrhea before, but like you have it so bad that you literally cannot leave the toilet for what, like a half an hour? Like what
Oh,
happens?
no, no, no. It's not. No, I think it's going to the restroom just like anybody else would do if you have diarrhea or something like that. Thankfully, but it's just like, you're sitting and you know that your body is going to eliminate, right?
Mm.
So you know that you have that feeling of not being done. And you know that something else it's not quite settled yet. It
That
hasn't
you're
all
going to
run its
spend
course.
like a good couple of hours off and on just going back and
And
forth to the
yeah, and
bathroom.
that's when it ended up happening. And it was like it started at like 3:45 and it didn't end until like 8, but then it was done. So I don't
Oh,
know
and
if
you
I
couldn't
ate
go to the party
something.
after 8?
I was, you know what? There's another thing too for anyone who has IBS or any kind of chronic gastrointestinal thing. You get tired.
Oh.
Your body is like your muscles are contracting, and you know what I mean, like it's kind of fatiguing
Mm.
when it's, and I don't really know by physiologically why that happens, but it it's not, you're tired. And it was over at 10, and it was a 45-minute drive. So it was like it just was done. Like I decided I wasn't going, it was done. But that would be my fear factor, is being in, because it's happened to me many times before in my life where you're someplace and you just need to get out because you're feeling sick.
Mm.
But I'm trying to think, this is a fear factor game. What if here's a fear factor thing. Okay, Joe Rogan, listen to this one. You've got 5 contestants in a crowded small bar with one bathroom.
Mm.
And you make sure that all the 5 contestants already have something brewing. Like you either give them like something that will make them have diarrhea. And you have to see who can hold out the longest before going. And then when you really have to go, you have to, who can get through the crowd to get to the bathroom. That would be,
So that would be a show. You're pitching a show going, okay, you guys, listen, I got a great idea for a show. It's going to be a bunch of people who are about to shit themselves. And we're
right,
going to
hazmat.
film what happens when you shit yourself and you can't make it to the bathroom.
Well, the
And the
object
other
is
people
not
are
that these
like,
people,
yeah, but in the scenario that you are proposing, there is going to be some oops, I shit my pants moments.
I think you could have them wear Depends or something. They don't have to be a spectacle out of
But
it. I'm not heartless.
still, I'm not talking about
I'm
the
not
visual. I'm
heartless.
not talking about the visual of it. I'm just talking about the fact that it's going to happen. Someone is, whether they have a diaper on or not, they're going to shit themselves in public on television.
Well, I mean, look at the other stuff people do. It's not like that far-fetched. It's not like that crazy. I mean,
Mm,
people do weird things for money or, notoriety or whatever.
mm,
So,
true.
speaking of notoriety,
Yeah.
um, this is episode 256, as we said at the beginning, and I don't know if anyone has been seeing our reels. We would like to welcome any new listeners who have started to see our reels. Thank you for
Yes.
coming and joining us. But apparently, they're getting views, and we're really happy about that. And I wanted to share something. They're doing so well, and they're really, really giving a face to our show. So much so that I had someone reach out to me, Keek,
Oh,
that
okay.
told me the next time you're in town, next time you come to Chicago, if you were interested, they would love to hook up with you.
What?
I think from our last show when we were talking about the phone, the extra phone that you had, and you had an alternative life or OnlyFans,
Oh,
like this can actually work. Like you can make some money. I really think you could. We could get you a job, just prostitute you out on the show.
is this someone I know? Please tell me this isn't one of our super fans.
I would say he's a super fan.
Shame on you.
Um,
If you're a super fan, you know I'm married and I don't
well,
play that way.
and I mentioned to him that you were married as well. But
How
I will tell you that
dare
he is one
you?
of our he is one of our first listeners.
Oh, okay. Well, listen.
So what he's been listening to the show for 11 years, and he was 14 years old when he first started listening to the show.
Oh, no. Oh, come on. Also, like, flattered.
Any guessing?
Well, is your nephew, I'm assuming. Is it your nephew? The one that got in trouble for listening to the show?
Well,
I
he didn't
mean,
get in trouble. He
listen,
was actually listening.
no, you got in trouble. I pride myself on my cougar status, but also, shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm old enough to be your mother.
I'm old enough to be your mother. But also, I don't
But do
care
you
about
remember?
that so much as I'm like, I'm married. Come on now. I'm a respectable woman
I don't care if you're
with a
12.
pretend OnlyFans page. Come on.
Right. I don't care if you're 25 years old.
Hmm.
That's not the issue. The issue
Nope.
is I'm married to
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
I think he gave you a hall pass last time.
No, he's very territorial. No, he is very territorial and very jealous.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess my nephew needs to take notice. And all
Well, because
you're
when
so
I was
beautiful.
joking, oh, thank you. Back at you. You guys have to watch the video. I, however, have bought this shirt that apparently on camera looks like I live in the Shire or like on Holly Hobby. But Girk has some real good hair. Both of us are having some good hair today.
Yeah, I have a lunch meet and greet.
Yeah. But no,
So kind
when
of,
we were joking
although,
about the burner, dude was like, he was flashing back to his moments. He's not as jealous anymore. He's worked down the jealousy, but he went through a phase early on where it was a little bit of a problem for us, and I was like, "Come on, man."
all right.
But yeah, I'm like, is the burner phone triggering you? Because then I went outside. I went outside a couple of times yesterday to take some phone calls, and he was like, "What the fuck? You talking to your boyfriend?" I'm like, or it's Christmas time, douchebag,
Mhm.
and like secrets abound at Christmas time, man. Because I had this gift that I couldn't figure out. The ironic thing is what to get the people who have
Yeah,
nothing. Usually it's like, what do you get the people who have everything? The people who have like a lot of money, and you're
right.
like, they have everything. What to
Oh,
get the people who have
sure.
nothing? And you would think it's really easy, but this year it's actually kind of not. Because number one, I'm like, well, what are some of the Christmas gifts that totally landed that he and Dylan loved? So you got to think of that, like replacing those. But then number two, it's like, well, we live in an RV. We don't have space for anything. So
Right, right.
I have to find stuff to get him, but also that doesn't take up a lot of space. And both of us are real depressed right now. So it's like neither one of us are
Mm.
that excited about Christmas. So the shopping thing hasn't been fun. But I did come up with this idea. And then, of
Oh,
course, when
good.
I finally thought of a great idea, I went online to find it. And every single place I went to was like, this will arrive after Christmas. And I'm like,
Oh,
no. So, because
yeah, it's
in,
the
in a
18th of December.
yeah, and in a perfect world, I don't
Oh,
care.
a week.
I don't care so
Oh,
much
okay.
about that. But when it's the big gift and you want to, like, because there's some gifts that you give that sometimes mostly just get played with the week of Christmas and then never touched again. This is
Yeah, yeah.
definitely one of those, like, you want to get it out of the box and play with it for sure.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I found one place. It's in Woodland Hills. It actually, because I was doing the Amazon thing, I was doing some of the mail order things, but there is a place in Woodland Hills, so that's about an hour from me. So I'm gonna have to drive and go pick it up. They shipped
Right.
it. They would ship it for free, but I'm like, and they're like, oh, I'm sure it'll get there before Christmas. But I'm like, I'll just come and get it. So now I have to drive and
Yeah,
go
you
get
know
that.
what? With everything that you've been through, it would just be anxious for you. I think you should.
Yeah. Plus, so it was a lot of like
When
secret phone calls outside of the RV
Yes, of course. Well,
on
and they
on my
probably
burner phone.
that he can't see.
Hmm.
Um, so where are things at with the construction of your home?
Well, we still don't have a permit, so that's fun. So
Mm.
yeah, we're just sitting in a dirt lot that has a bunch of holes in
Just
it at the moment because they came and we started construction and we got about as far as we could without a permit, which wasn't far. They spent a week like digging holes. I think they call them forms. These are the forms.
okay,
So
yeah.
they dig the holes that they then put the foundation in. The foundation is, I think, is all like rebar and wood and blah blah blah. They didn't do any of the rebar or the wood. They left the wood here, but they didn't do any rebar or anything because we're not going to spend any serious money until we have our permit and we know for sure that they're not going to make any changes to our foundation, which I don't think they will. They Every week for the last like 4 weeks it's been like, oh, we should get it this week. Okay, stop telling me that. Please
Yeah,
stop
that's
telling
not
me
fun.
that. um
Um,
so yeah, hopefully we get
okay,
it this
well,
week, but it's already Thursday, so I'm going to say no.
uh,
We were really hoping to,
okay. And
you
then
know
how is the movie before we go? How is the movie editing going?
it's going. Again, I've put all the smart people together, and all the smart people are CCing me on all these emails with language that might as well be Greek because I don't
Yeah.
understand any of the things they're saying, but it looks like we should be able to make our deadline. That's really great.
With the real cut or with a still a
No,
not finished
I'm
one?
pretty sure we'll make the deadline with the real cut, I think.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to thank everyone because this is going to be our last show for the year.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to our show, whether you've been listening to it since the beginning or coming
Long
in the
time
middle
or
or
first time.
just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look forward to speaking to you again in the next couple of weeks. And whatever it is you celebrate, wherever it is that you celebrate,
Mm.
we wish you a very happy that. And for all of you, Happy New Year from Double Bubble with Dirk and Keek. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Can I stop recording?